And so I was looking for a video for something, and I found this video, and when it was over, I was just a puddle. And I was like, it just blew my mind. And that was a week ago, last Saturday. And I thought, I'm sure everybody would like it. But then Dr. Lori told me how she felt, same way I felt when I watched it. And I thought, there's no reason why I shouldn't show a video here and bring it to Westlake. So enjoy.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities. And another 720 days will go to community activities, like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?
So the title of my talk today is The Jellybean. It's very provocative at the end of that. It hit me right away when they took away half and said, you'll probably only have this much left now. And by the way, this talk today and how I feel about this video is not about how much time do I have left. It's not about that at all. It's really more about the understanding of what I have and how much there is to live. So the question, what would you do if you just had one jelly bean left? Many people go to what would I do if I died? If I'm going to die tomorrow, what would I do? It's not about what would I do if I died tomorrow. That's not what this question is. The question is really, what would you do with that one jelly bean? If you had no other care in the world, if you had no responsibilities whatsoever, and if everything you chose was absolutely 100% doable, it would be in a resounding yes, whatever it was, what would it be? What would you do? Would you be sitting here? Perhaps not, because you'd already know who you were. So you wouldn't be here, perhaps. Maybe you'd be out at the ocean. Maybe you'd be surfing. Maybe you'd be paddleboarding. Maybe you'd be whatever. But what would it be? What's inside of you that's still sitting there? Because you have so much else to do. Because you have so many things to do. You know, our theme this month is focus, and what you focus on really matters. So I'd like you to focus this morning on this one jelly bean. You have the infinite quantum field at your disposal to do whatever you want to do with it. Ernest Holmes says this. Well, I think he says it. There we go. He says, think simple and clear and never worry for the visible or apparent course of events. I'll let you do these, Swan. So, question, how many worriers do I have here? Oh, come on, really? None of you worry about anything ever. What did you think I said, warriors? That's so funny. Alfie was telling everybody in a class, he's, what is Alfie's nationality? Filipino. And Alfie was saying, when I asked what people's problems were, he said, I am a warrior. And I understood what he was saying, and everybody was like, good for you. I was like, no. Alfie, tell them again what you're saying. He says, I'm a warrior. I was like, and they're all like, yes, warrior. I was like, no, it's not what he's saying. I said, you mean you're a worrier? He said, yes, I am a warrior. So how many warriors do we have here? Yes. How many people worry? Anybody worried about the world right now? Okay, then you're all worriers, frankly. If you are sitting around saying, everything's perfect, everything's fine, the world is fine, there's no war anywhere, everything's fine, then I'd like to meet you on top of a mountain. So, think simple and clear and never worry for the visible or apparent course of events. When you climb up to a mountain and spend it with 34 like-minded, heart-opening people, it's pretty easy not to worry. And it's pretty easy to remember who you are. And it's pretty easy to remember that life is unfolding perfectly no matter what. However, the trick is for you to get into your life, see your life exactly the way it's unfolding, and still be able to say, it's unfolding perfectly no matter what. That's the goal. And Ernest Holmes says this. Give me the next slide there, Swan. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we are able to take. It cannot give us more. It has given all. We have not yet accepted the greater gift. So this idea of focus, imagine those jelly beans, and every single jelly bean comes with it a little note that says, I am giving you anything your heart desires. This is a magic jelly bean. Whatever you wish, whatever you choose, whatever you focus on, I will give you 100%, no questions asked. Oh my God, what would you do with that jelly bean? What would you decide? Dr. Laurie just said, I wouldn't eat it. But what would you do? Where would you go? What would you decide for your life? And don't wish for like 100 more jelly beans, as many people do with those wishes. I want 20 more wishes. No, it's not how it works. But what if you did have that? And if those jelly beans represent every day of our life, then the question becomes, that is what the jelly bean is saying, to be clear. Yes, Vivian. I don't know why I'm picking on you today. Vivian, whatever you want, I am here to say yes to. What is it going to be? What do you want? Just take that jelly bean and say, this is what I want. We have done that now. I have done that now for 70 plus years. Every day I have decided what my day is. Don't you? We wake up every morning and we decide. Usually we don't decide. Usually we wake up and remember what we have to do. Remember all the things we decided in the past that are now on our agenda to do. And we don't even sometimes take the time to go, is this still relevant? Do I still want to be doing this? I know that my marriage to Kevin is as full and wonderful as it is because we ask ourselves all the time, what are we doing here? Are we doing what we want to be doing here? And if the answer is no, we change it. We live that line. If I can't put my heart in it, I will take myself out of it. So that's what the jelly beans are all about for me. So how many jelly beans do you think you have left? Thousands. I'm going to say, even though they represent a day each, there's definitely thousands of jelly beans left. But the only jelly bean that's important is the one you're holding right now, today. That's it. That's the only jelly bean that's important. And what we have to get used to doing is every single day asking ourselves, am I still good with everything I'm doing right now? Because if I'm not, my focus needs to change. I need to take that mindset and break it up. Disruption can be a very good thing if it disrupts you enough to start paying attention to your life and to what's going on. So this is what Zig Ziglar said about focus. Always remember, your focus determines your reality. After I saw that beautiful slug, and I moved it aside, I think I was with you, Gary, when I saw the one that was crushed, and I walked down further and I went, you needed me, and I wasn't here. And I saw it, and I was like, am I going to focus on the slug that was crushed, or am I going to focus on the slug that was saved? The answer is both, because I want to understand how life works. And that slug, and you're like, I should have called my talk slugs. And that slug, even in its crushed state, is still vibrantly a part of this quantum universe. I don't know where that's going to go, where all that's going to evolve, what it's all going to evolve into. And that's the thing. I think part of the reason why we don't take our jelly bean and ask for the most extraordinary, amazing things is because we have some really screwed up beliefs about life. There is a musical on Broadway right now called Maybe Happy Ending. I can't even say the name of that musical without getting a lump in my throat. It's about two robots in the future. Everybody has their own robots, and they're very human with these robots. But when it's time, they're retired. And so it was about two robots who had been retired, and they lived next door to each other. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story because you should see the show, but it's so beautiful. And within 10 minutes of watching this musical, your heart is like literally linked to these two robots, because what they're about to do is take this enormous journey through being human. And they pretend to be human for this whole journey. And they show us all the things that we think being human is all about. It's just extraordinary. But there's a line in the musical at one point where she says to him something about, I don't know why humans get so upset about death. Were they not expecting it? And the other robot says, I believe they expect it, but they talk themselves into believing it won't happen. And she's like, we know we have an expiration date. And he says, yes, we do. What is yours? And she gives him hers, and he gives him his. And he says, see, now we know. I was so taken by that. And the song they then sing is called The Way It's Supposed to Be. Everything in your life, now this is going to maybe be hard for you to swallow. Everything in your life is the way it's supposed to be. But the question is, who supposed it to be? You did. You supposed it to be because you made choices, because you focused on certain things, because you made decisions, because you allowed the past to bring its beliefs into your realization, and you lived from them. That jelly bean that you have in your hand right now, metaphorically, is your opportunity to give it all away. To just give it away, all of it, your whole life. Life is exactly as it's supposed to be. And now, what? So, we had this weekend, and it was called In the Flow. And Tony Robbins said this: where focus goes, energy flows. You are like a robot, your body. Your body was designed by this infinite field of pure intelligence. And think about your body for a second. Do you spend time telling your body where to move the blood throughout your body? If you do, we're going to need to talk. But do you spend time telling your kidneys what to do? No, sometimes you spend time telling them what not to do. But we don't have to talk to our bodies about what they're doing until something goes wrong. And then we start talking to our bodies. But we don't talk to it the way we should. We start cursing our bodies. We start complaining about getting older. We start accepting that getting older means this. We start buying into all of this stuff, and yet we're just robots. We are robots doing what robots are built to do, which is live. Except we're not robots, because we have conscious minds. We have the ability to choose. Where focus goes, energy flows. We are in this field of pure flow, pure creative energy, and it's flowing, and it's constantly flowing, and it's giving us everything we could ever possibly need, but it's asking us to focus it. Where do you want to focus it? So I got on the labyrinth last night. We do a labyrinth walk on the Saturday night. And I told everybody, I said, one of the things I like to do is ask a question when I stand at the front of the labyrinth. Ask a question, and then just walk and see what comes up. And so I asked a question that I ask often, and I have asked often during my life and my career, which is, which road is the right road for me right now? What is the right road for me? Because I have a number to choose from. And then I let it go, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking. But I'm keeping it in mind, so which path is the right path for me right now? And I'm asking, and I stopped. I thought about Reverend Rita, who said, pivot. So I pivoted, and I turned, and as I pivoted, there was the ocean. And I asked the question again. Which path is the correct path for me? And of course, because the voice that speaks to me is very sarcastic, it's like I have Tiffany in my head. And the voice said, why do you keep asking this question? And I had a few choice words for that voice at the time. But I was like, yeah, why do I keep asking that question? What's the answer I always get? And the answer I always get is, every path is the right path for you. You need to do it all. And I was like, somebody passed by me and I had to get off the path and get back on it. And I was like, exhausting. That's what I always get the answer. You're here to do it all. Stop trying to figure out which path you should focus on. How about a bigger focus where you focus on it all and day by day make decisions? And then I kept walking. And then I landed in the center of the labyrinth, and I stood there. And there were a lot of people standing in the center. And they say in the center of the labyrinth, you've brought everything that you need to let go of. And as you leave the labyrinth, enter back into your life. And so I got there and I was like, I'm going to leave that question alone. I'm done. I have maybe 30, 40, 50 years left. 120 could look good if it keeps looking like this. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with that question. I'm done with people asking me that question. I'm done with people imposing that question upon me as though I need to pick a road to be on. And then I walked out from the center. I felt so much lighter. I was like, wow, yeah, I feel good. And I just felt great. And I was like, that's how this works. Focus. Next slide, Swan. Those who flow as life flows know they need no other force. When you really tap into That thing in you that is not only inviting you, but is driving you. It is moving you. It is showing you. It is laying the road right before you and saying, take this road. And oh, by the way, if you get down to that road and you need to try a different road, take a right and then join that road. But know that you are the flow. You don't need to go find it. You don't need to do something to manifest it. You are the flow. I love those who flow as life flows, know that there is no other force. And my last quote from Mahatma Gandhi is this. There is a force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. I don't know what all of you want out of your lives. I don't. I know that you're here. And I know that you all online are there. I know that we're all here. Why, though? Because we like fellowship. This is a beautifully loving community, and I get that. We all love being together. But why really are we here? What do we really want? What do we want? I know Marilyn Murphy. I know what she wants. She wants to travel. And she wants to help the world learn that traveling brings a lot of insight and information and wisdom. She shared that yesterday. Scott shared some things of his as well that is not repeatable from this stage. The ones that are laughing know what he shared. But we all shared things. You know, what are the three things? I asked them, what are the three things that swell your body, that make you feel passionate, that make you so excited about living? What are those three things? Are you doing them? And I also asked them, what are the three things that press you down? What are the three things that cut off that passion? And I'm asking you to look at those things too. Get rid of them. Whatever they are, get rid of them. Your Jellybean is asking you to give it a chance. Your Jellybean is asking you, as Sunny's song says, to give it away. Give away your ideas. Give away your desires. Give away the love you have in your heart. Give away all that you are in order to get it all back. Because one of the lyrics in that song is, the more you give it away, the more you may just find that you get it back. Living this expansive life. That's why we're here. I know that's why most of you come here. So, this last picture is the group picture from the top of the mountain. You will notice that Dr. Kathy has me in a grip. She is apparently trying to make me not fall. I don't know. I thought it was a cheap cop, but you know. This picture, we took it over again when I saw that. And then the next one, Tom, you moved your head, and I didn't have your head, so I had to use this picture. For those of you that were not there, take the energy we came back with. Take the vibration we came back with. Take the love that we came back with. And just look at this picture and remind yourself, we can always rise above anything. We can rise above any situation, anything going on in our lives, and we can make decisions and focus our lives on what we want to do with our lives. Every single person here today has something they want to do. The only reason you may not be doing it is because somewhere along the line you believed you couldn't, or that you weren't worthy of it, or that it wouldn't go well, or that you've developed a perfectionism thing where if it's not perfect, you're not going to do it. I'm going to suggest to you all, let it all go. I asked everybody to come to the center of the room yesterday and commit to what they were leaving on the top of that mountain. Notwithstanding some things that were said, people left a lot of, I won't say it, Brad, a lot of stuff on that mountain. I invite you all to leave whatever you want today in this room. I'll clean it up tomorrow when I come back. But leave it. Be done with it. It is time. I mean, here's the thing. If you only had one Jellybean, what would you do with it? Whatever that answer is, do it. Because guess what? every day you only get one jelly bean. Live it to the fullest. Namaste. Thank you.